Hey everyone, here's my 3-semester block orientation review presentation. So I'll be talking about the morning session where we had an introduction with our block leaders, as well as a panel with our 3-semester block students from last year, an afternoon session with the program overview, the EdTPA, and the expectations of the program. And then I'll also be talking about the handbook for the Teaching Credential Program because this is a 77-page document and it would take me forever to cover all of it. I'll just be talking about some highlights from the handbook, including the policies and procedures, clinical practice experiences, and the teaching performance assessment. In the morning session, we started off with an introduction of our block leaders. We have Professor Eric Ginsberg, who will be working with the single subject block, and Dr. Ishel Sampson, who will be working with the multiple subject block. And we also had a discussion panel with 3-semester block students from last year, so they'll be going into their last semester in the fall. We did a Q&A panel with them where we basically learned that this is a very intense program, but it's also very rewarding. They emphasize that time management is very important, especially because a lot of us have other commitments, including a part-time job, a full-time job, some of us are parents, and so managing our time very wisely is going to be very important to get through this program. They also emphasize that we're not alone, so it's really important for us to make friends with our fellow cohorts and to have a support system within the program as well as outside the program. In the afternoon session, we did a more in-depth program overview. For the single subject, our first semester is going to have 4 evening classes 2 nights a week, plus 5 hours a week of classroom observations. In the second semester, we have 5 classes 3 nights a week, plus 1 online class, and 15 hours a week of student teaching in the morning, Monday through Friday, but they did recommend to try to stay throughout the entire day if that is possible. In the third semester, we only have 1 evening class, but we are student teaching full-time in the morning for about 25 hours a week, and then this is when we have to prepare and submit our EdTPA as well. So the EdTPA is a teacher performance assessment, and it's a requirement to graduate from this program. There are 3 tasks involved. There's the planning, instruction, and assessment, and we submit it to Pearson where it is nationally scored. We also talked about the expectations for this program for the coursework, for the classes, as well as for student teaching. Basically, it's very important to be punctual, to be respectful, be professional, and also to communicate with everybody in our program. Alright, so the Teaching Credential Program Handbook outlines basically everything that we need to know for this program. And like I said, I'll only be going through a few highlights since it is a very long document. One of the highlights is the policies and procedures. So it starts off with the overview of the program courses, which you can see here on the side. Also the School of Teacher Education contacts and resources, who we need to contact for what, as well as important procedures about the program, including course registration, attendance and absences, religious observances, grades, appeals and reviews, and leave of absence. They also talked about clinical practice experiences, so there are some important commitments and dates that we need to know. There's also a lot of information about lesson planning, which will be very important once we start student teaching in the spring. There's also the evaluation of student teaching and the roles and responsibilities for teacher candidates, team leaders, and guide teachers. And I think this is really important so that way we know what is expected of us as well as what we can expect from everybody else in this program. Alright, finally, they talk about the teaching performance assessment. Like I said, this is a requirement to graduate, so this is very important to note. The TPA has 2 components. There's the embedded signature assessments, which are just coursework that we need to take throughout the program, and then the EdTPA teaching event. So this is a portfolio that we have to comprise, including 3 tasks. There's a planning, instruction, and assessment. The handbook also talks about the scoring of the EdTPA as well as the submission procedures. So that's my presentation, and I'm very much looking forward to this program. Thank you.